Hey yo, y'all, you know what it is. SOS Wrestling Network back at y'all once again for New Japan Pro Wrestling New Japan Cup 2021 Night 8 is upon us. You know I am the Pro Wrestle Fly God. I am joined by my illustrious tag team partner, the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, LK. Okay, how are you, man?
I'm living the dream, living the dream. Another day, another show. That's how we rock and roll. Another night of New Japan Pro Wrestling with the New Japan Cup this year. Ive, how you've been able to do most of these shows with the prelim matches as well. You are what we call a brave soldier. I mean, in my defense today, I've watched the Impact show, which I'm reviewing once we finish wrapping this one up, the Sacrifice pay per view.
Yep.
So I ended up watching the Sacrifice show. And then this back to back early in the morning. So I'm fucking, when you message saying we can do it at 10:30 our time, my time, sorry, I was a happy boy because I've been up a while.
Oh man, and I mean, shit, I got the show done, like I said, pretty early. I didn't get up for it immediately because I think the show came on about 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But if you guys are not in the know right now, we actually went through the daylight savings time, so your boy lost an hour. So as opposed to it being, was it almost 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time right now, it should be about almost six. So I lost an hour. So I got up and watched the show as swiftly and quickly as I could. And honestly, the show went by pretty damn swiftly, man. And I am a brave soldier, okay, but thank God for that 10-second button on New Japan World because that thing is a fucking lifesaver.
Oh, that's magic. Yeah, I need to start doing that. It's just, I don't know, where I'm trying to keep up to date with everything. I find it really struggling to be able to kind of motivate myself to sit down and watch another 3 hour show. Especially when it's just kind of matches that are building up to matches of the New Japan Cup. But yeah, what matches did I miss? Is there anything I actually need to go back and check out or worth my
uh,
time?
all right, so on the undercard here on the day show on night eight, we had a six-man tag team match. Yuya Uemura, Yota Tsuji, and David Finlay taking on Toru Yano, Tomohiro Ishii, and Yoshihashi right here. This match ended in about a little under 11 minutes. We had Tomohiro Ishii getting a lariat over Yuya Uemura, and I actually said something to you about this off podcast. This is like the second or maybe third night in a row that Tomohiro Ishii's ended his match with a lariat, and I'm almost wondering he's not using the brainbuster. Is he injured or is he just trying to protect the brainbuster? If he's just trying to protect the brainbuster, I'm 100% for it, but I'm hoping my man's is not injured because that would be fucking bad for New Japan because he's one of their bright shining lights as Tomohiro Ishii as he has been for the last some odd years. So yeah, I'm just wondering why he's putting people away with the lariat now. It's pretty peculiar, but he puts Yuya Uemura away with the lariat. And one thing about this match, LK, that I love that was just hilarious to me. So, as opposed to attacking each other post matches, we've said Yoshihashi and David Finlay. So, Yuri Uemura is just like knocked out, flat out in the middle of the ring. So, Yoshihashi goes over to David Finlay. He puts his arm around him and he's pointing down to Yuri Uemura. He said, hey, you see him right there? Hey, that's gonna be you the next day. You know that, right? He's just like,
Magic.
and
Oh,
it's like, yeah, it was hilarious. He's like, yeah, that's gonna be you in like a day or two. You know this, right? And then like, so David Finlay was like, no, it's like that. He's like, I'm gonna kick out of that. You know this, right? And they're just going back and forth. So the banter between Yoshihashi and David Finlay has been pretty hilarious and pretty entertaining because I'm like, look at Yoshihashi Hash Brown showing some charisma right there. He said, that's gonna be you tomorrow. You see him on the ground, 1, 2, 3, that's you. So solid opening match. We all know what these matches are for. This is a storyline build. Same with the next match we got. We have Doki, Taichi, and Minoru Suzuki of the Suzuki Gun contingent taking on the Bullet Club trio of Chase Owens, Bad Luck Fale, and Kenta right here. Love the stuff between Kenta and Minoru Suzuki. Doki actually ate the pinfall. Of course, he's going to eat the pinfall when you look at all six of these guys. He took a package power driver from Chase Owens, 7.5 minutes right here. And the stuff between Minoru Suzuki and Kenta was really entertaining. Hell, and it was really entertaining when my man's Taichi tries to do his Greco-Roman throat hold, aka just a regular choke on Bad Luck Fale, and Fale just has this look like, bro, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like he's like, you trying to choke me, bro? No, I choke you. So I thought that was pretty funny. Shout out to Taichi, man. He's already, I think he progressed in the New Japan Cup, so he's kind of just chilling to his next matchup. So he says here, Minoru Suzuki is bowed out in New Japan Cup. Kenta's going on to the second round or quarterfinal. So yeah, man, it was okay. This wasn't anything to where you have to watch it, but I thought it was entertaining. Same with the first match. In the third match, we get Los Ingobernables. They opponents Ibushi, Tetsuya Naito, and Shingo Takagi versus Shingo Kazuchika Okada and Hiroki Goto. And one thing, LK, I've been loving about these undercard New Japan Cup matches is it's kind of been an unwritten rule, but it's been like I guess a written rule. Naito and Okada have been pairing off with each other, and I think that's pretty interesting. That they're pairing off with each other because normally, as you and I know, the only times they're pairing off with each other is when it's IWGP implications. And this is weird how they're like, all right, neither one of us are doing anything. Let's just go ahead and do this. But and then also in a whole nother shout, we might even said this, there the draws are Okada and Naito, but you know what? God damn it, they probably need to take a fucking break, man. They don't need to be wrestling right now. I will say that to the cows come home. With Okada's back and Naito's knees, they should be taking a break right now. They shouldn't even be in these matches. You don't even need to have them here. I know maybe I'm saying it from a guy who's just watching these shows on New Japan World and not somebody who's actually going to the show, but I'll be hard pressed. I guarantee you can probably bet there are some people who are attending these shows and saying, if you were to ask them, hey, would you rather see Naito and Okada, or would you rather them just like take this tour off and let them rest and take a break? I guarantee you, fans, even in Japan, will be like, hey, you know what? If they're injured, I would rather them take a break right now. And I think both of these guys should take a break. They really should. And I love Naito to the cows come home, maybe more than the straight man should. But just take a fucking break, man. Same for Okada. This is the point. This is the perfect time for both of these guys to take a break, okay? Because New Japan does not essentially need them right now. Like New Japan is operating on the champion who, and that's another thing too that I want to talk about. The champion is not even here, and he's getting breaks. And does he even need one? I'm not saying. I'm sure Kota Bushi has some nicks and bruises, but Naito and Okada's banged up. They're the ones who should be taking breaks, and he's the one who should be wrestling here on the undercard, man. And I just kind of, as my disdain for Kota Ibushi goes along in 2021, this is another reason. It's not his fault, but it's just like, dude, what the fuck is that? That's bad booking, man. But match wise, show gets the victory with the shock arrow over Ibushi right here. Solid trios match, man. But like I said, Okada, Naito, they probably should take a break here, man. Keep them rejuvenated for the G1 and the rest of the fucking half of the year. Shit, I mean, they don't have to work every show. I'm not trying to go into a tangent, but come on, man. So then the fourth match, which was a trios match as well, it kind of has me worried. Not necessarily worried, but worried for a guy like Hiroshi Tanahashi here, LK, because I thought about this. Toa Henare, Juice Robinson, Hiroshi Tanahashi versus the Bullet Club, Yujiro Takahashi, Evil, Jay White right here. Match ended a little under 14 minutes. And Tanahashi broke up the high fly flow and he hit it on he hit it on himself. He hit it on Yujiro Takahashi. But him hitting the high fly flow here in this multi-man, I was like, man, that might be a telltale sign that he's losing tomorrow, because why would he not, at this age, at this state in Tanahashi's career, why would he not save a high fly flow for a match with Jay White as opposed to using it right now? So I thought about that. I'm like, damn, Tanahashi's losing tomorrow. So it was still a good trios match, man, but that kind of just set in stone that I think Tanahashi is going to lose tomorrow. And also, too, I don't know if you've heard about this, but I heard maybe a little rumor because they've been trying, and I heard this on a commentary table. They've been calling the never open weight the IWGP never open weight. So I'm going to wonder with the never open weight, are we going to get a new design with that? And also, too, because since the junior heavyweight belt was pretty much a junior heavyweight version of the heavyweight belt, are we going to get a new junior heavyweight title to kind of like go with the heavyweight belt now? So I mean, yeah. So thoughts on that? Okay.
Oh, I hope they don't do that. They need to leave the belts alone. Let's just leave it alone. You went from having too many to changing them all. Just leave everything alone. Let's just hope they do that. And the never open weight is kind of like an open weight issue challenged. Like I was thinking this the other day, how it is, there's no kind of, there is rules to it, but there isn't kind of guidelines as to who can challenge. Being an open weight, kind of being like an open challenge, I would love it if guys from other promotions came in and fought for the belt. Kind of imagine like a Shuji Ishikawa coming in and challenging Ishii, yeah, for the belt or something along those lines. But that's well off topic. Yeah, I hope they don't change the design of the junior belt, because I, for one, really enjoyed the junior belt, but I really enjoyed the heavyweight belt, but seems to not matter what we enjoy. But yeah, the White Tanahashi match is going to be an interesting one. It feels like we haven't watched them. For me anyway, it feels like I haven't watched them wrestle in a while, so I'm kind of looking forward to it. But we'll talk about that when we talk about tomorrow's shows at the end of the show. But yeah, back to your point about Okada and Naito, we've been saying this the whole damn tour. They do not need to be there, and the fact that Ibushi's not, It's kind of bad. Actually, no, it's very bad. But it is what it is. In the end of the day, just touch wood. Maybe they get some time off after this. Maybe they're not even on the Sakura Genesis tour.
Fingers crossed, man, because they need it, dude. Like, but what's scary for me, especially for being a Naito fan, we're probably going to have the Naito Great Okan feud like take off immediately after this tour happens. So that's kind of I'm like, they probably should have.
Why? Because if they do that,
No,
if they do the feud, that means Naito's got to get the win. That's the way New Japan books.
It's stupid. Honestly, if I book this, if I'm booking, Naito and Okan don't even touch each other till G1. That's just me personally. Like, they don't even need to go into a mini feud right now. Like, like Naito and Okada are the guys that are not being really utilized. Let them take a break, or if you don't want to take a break, why couldn't I guess it kind of depends on after the tour is over, but why couldn't we get a Naito and Shingo challenging for the heavyweight tag belts? Why couldn't we get that? I don't know. Or why couldn't we get like an Okada insert chaos tag team member here challenging for the tag belts, or even for the 6-man tag team belts? Like, they don't, if they're not doing anything, they can challenge for these artillery titles right here and still make it mean sense. But if you're going to have them wrestle, if you're just going to have them wrestle just to wrestle, man, they should be taking a break, man. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to get to the point when you start worrying them, and when they start bumping, you're going to start cringing a little bit. And these guys make them so much money. Like, they're top draw stars. So having them off the New Japan Cup, the fact it is the New Japan Cup is the draw. Like, the draw is the cup. People are attending these shows to see cup matches. You know what I mean? It's like the Royal Rumble. You could put anything on the Royal Rumble show. You could put fucking...
I was going to say, okay, how telling is that the champion has not been anywhere on these tours, man? That's telling to me. Like, back in the day, if Okada was the IWGP heavyweight champion, he was not in the New Japan Cup, he would at least be on the undercard of the tour. He would at least do that. Like, the champion's not anywhere on this tour. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. So far, in my opinion, Kota Ibushi's title reign has been a bust to what everything has happened in. It's been a bust, man. And the quicker they can get this belt off of him, the fucking better. Because he's not championship material. He's chasing material, not championship material. At least how they booked him, in my opinion.
I mean, I disagree with that because I'm a Kota Ibushi fan. But, I do agree with the first point. Because Okada and Naito always did. The only time they'd kind of take time off is either the Tag League or Best of Super Juniors. That kind of be their time off. But also, you got these stadium shows coming up. So surely wouldn't you want a healthy Naito and Okada to help sell them out? Obviously not completely sold out because they can't because of the pandemic. But get the most possible ticket numbers that you can. And by having Naito and Okada on those shows, there's a stronger chance of that. Like, what would actually happen? How would they feel if on one of these shows, it's just that one bad bump that just takes it too far to the point they need surgery? They would have done that to themselves and risked it for a New Japan fucking Cup show taking place in fucking Amagasaki, Hyogo. Like, you know what I mean? We're not talking at the Tokyo Dome.
It'd have been their own fault, man. Honestly, New Japan would have nobody to blame but themselves at this point, because you see... Look, I mean, Hiromu Takahashi should be a great fucking indicator of it. My man's got injured on the Road 2 show and fucked his shoulder up. Like, I don't know if Hiromu's shoulder was messed up before that, or if it was a freak injury. If Hiromu was like, "Hey man, I need to chill on my shoulder. Can we not do some of these matches?" But like, I don't know, man. I think sometimes it's almost kind of worse than like a WWE, because like, hey, I feel like you can tell a WWE is like, "Hey man, I need to take time off, man. I'm kind of hurt," and they'll be like, "All right." I just feel like in New Japan, it was like, "Hey, go out there. We'll put you in
Here's some pills.
We'll put you in an 8-man tag. Like, take some pills. We'll put you in an 8-man tag." Like, that's not the way to go about this, man. If these guys are banged up, dude, like, at this point, these guys, Naito and Okada, they bowed out in the New Japan Cup. Okay, we don't need to see them. Let them rest, because when we see them, we're like, "Oh shit, Naito and Okada's on this show." It's like, okay, welcome back, guys. You've had recuperated. You're back a little bit. It's fresh. You don't need this kind of... They've already did their job at the New Japan Cup of this tour. Let both of these guys rest, man. Like, fuck.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. And back to the point, that's what I was trying to remember. the idea that the New Japan people attend shows for the New Japan Cup. That's why, it's the New Japan Cup. They would get the same ticket numbers without Naito and Okada because, for example, the Royal Rumble that WWE does, fans attend that show for the Royal Rumble. You could you could literally put fucking Baron Corbin versus Damian Priest in a 60-minute Iron Man match at the first match of the Rumble for the WWE title belt, and you'd still get the same attendance because people are there for the Rumble. New Japan Cup is the same. They're there for the New Japan Cup. It's just an added bonus that Naito and Okada are there. I completely agree. I tell you what about this though? Because we're about halfway through the show. We're about halfway through the tour, right?
Oh, yeah.
What about if Okada and Naito start taking nights off and they replace him with Ibushi, and Ibushi then starts wrestling?
That's great. He needs to be on these shows. He is the champion after all. Now, I know you can't see me, but I did that with print, quotations. He is the champion after all, so he should be on these shows, man. Like I said a couple shows before, it just shows you who in New Japan Pro Wrestling, as far as the home crowd, who the real draws are. Because not taking anything away from Kota Ibushi, but Naito's the draw, Okada's the draw, Tanahashi's the draw. Kota Ibushi's not the draw. He's a draw for Western audiences. They love Kota Ibushi. They love the hell out of Kota Ibushi. Not saying that people in Japan don't, but the Western audiences love Kota Ibushi. Maybe it's because of who his tag team partner is, but I digress. But they love the hell out of him. And maybe the Japanese audience is like, yeah, we like him, but we still got Tanahashi, Naito, and Okada. And we love them too. So it's like, like... And
yes,
honestly, I think
I disagree though. I think Ibushi is a good champ.
The only reason of course I'm being a little biased, but the only reason I say Ibushi has not been a good champ to this point is because look at his challenges. He had Sanada, who you and I have. Y'all can go back on all of our shows and talk about that build to that feud. We knew Ibushi is he hasn't had anything that has literally threatened his title. Naito threatened his Intercontinental title reign. That was literally the only thing he had to threaten anything of his reign. But other than that, he's been kind of all right, I got a champion. I got to defend the belt. He's had house show defenses, in my opinion. Okay, that's just my opinion. Like
the matches have been good though.
Great matches. But did you think El Desperado or Sanada was going to beat him though?
Oh no! And the build, to be honest, the build for Desperado was 4 days with 0 shows in between. That was equal build to Sanada and Ibushi because the builds were terrible. But that doesn't make him a bad champion. It means he's just been booked to the drizzling shits.
Maybe not a bad champ. Maybe a bad champion's the bad word. This has not been the best reign. How about that? Like,
he's been done dirty. He's been done really dirty.
Done dirty with this reign because, he hasn't had like every challenger. Like we just said, he's had the only challenger that he had that was really threatening was Naito for the Intercontinental title, and it was just like, that's gone. Then everything else was like you knew he was beating Sanada. There was no chance. There was a snowball chance in hell that Desperado was winning unless Kota Ibushi got injured in that match. So the lack of credible challengers for Kota Ibushi. This was literally what people were talking about if Naito won after Wrestle Kingdom 12 because they were like, oh, who would Naito wrestle after that? What, Bad Luck Fale? And I'm like, damn, Kota Ibushi's literally in that spot right now because he beat Naito to get the belt, so Naito can't be a challenger for him. He beat Jay White. Jay White can't be a challenger for him. Okada's so far from the belt right now. Okada can't be a challenger for him. It's pretty much like, hey, man, this New Japan Cup winner better be a fresh guy. And the only people, even though I picked Shingo to win this, I would think Shingo and him are going to have a fucking amazing match if Shingo wins. How many people buy Shingo winning? I'm not sure. But if it's a guy like Jay White or if it's a guy like Will Ospreay, I think they got a little bit better chance of winning, to be 100% honest. And I'm just all about, man, who can this dude take the belt off of him? Because at this point, that's what it's become with Kota Ibushi's reign to me. Because I know they're going to have banger matches. Kota Ibushi's a great wrestler. He's an amazing wrestler. So he can have great matches with everybody. But it's about what's the threat level of this challenge he's getting. Like, the threat level of El Desperado, in my opinion, was like a 4. The threat level of Sanada was like a 3, maybe a 4. So it's just like, Will Ospreay, if he wins this tournament, Will Ospreay is like a 7. Shingo's like a 5. Jay White, if he wins this tournament, he's like a 9 because he already beat Jay White, and it's like, ooh, that's interesting. So I don't know, man. They've not been really doing Kota Ibushi any favors with his challenges, man. Like we said, he could have had Minoru Suzuki challenge for the belt. Fuck, he could have had Yuji Nagata challenge for the belt. Why the fuck not? You know what I mean? Yuji Nagata, as we'll talk about here shortly, because he's in the first New Japan Cup match of the night. Yuji Nagata's a fucking animal in this wrestling ring, man. And I kind of hate how New Japan has kind of done Yuji Nagata because if Yuji Nagata was in All Japan or Pro Wrestling Noah, he would be at least challenging for the heavyweight belt. Let's just be real, okay? He would at least be challenging for the title. They're like, nah, Yuji Nagata, you're like old. You can't. You even though you can wrestle, you can't do this anymore.
Yeah, and he fucking proved him right wrong in this fucking one because he had a good match with Sanada. Holy fuck.
Good, man. Let's go, man. So we might as well get into it. Okay, thanks for the segue. So we got Sanada, Yuji Nagata. In my opinion here, this match, Sanada's speed made all the fucking difference because Yuji Nagata, in that regard, he's totally fucking outmatched right here. And Sanada surprisingly threw Yuji Nagata into the ringside barrier, which is very uncharacteristic of Sanada, if you ask me. So you're not Yuji Nagata. He was barely able to get back into the ring at that point. So we got the count out spot. He gets Sanada missing a moonsault. He hits the canvas like, empty water in the pool. We know how that is. So we got Sanada and Nagata battling on the ropes in the corner. Nagata is able to absorb all of Sanada's shots here, and he's refusing to fall. Nagata's a fucking animal. Nagata suplexes Sanada off the top rope. That was a great spot. The T-bone suplex off the top rope. Great fucking spot. Woo! Sanada leaps over Nagata backwards. He locks in the skull in. When he puts Nagata to sleep, guess what time it is, y'all? It is time for the rounding body press, a.k.a. known as the moonsault. Sanada gets the win right here. And Yuji Nagata was able to hold Sanada's hand. And I say that in a bad way. Sanada's still good, but Yuji Nagata took Sanada to a fucking damn good match right here, man. And he should be challenging for titles. It don't have to be the heavyweight belt, but shit. Use Yuji Nagata because he can still fucking go at 52, man. Come on.
Yeah, same as Kojima, isn't it? It's kind of one of those. It's one of those where we always say that Kojima and Tenzon, Kojima, Nagata, Honma, they need to kind of get pushed, get in the title scenes, not just always the 6-man belts. But with that in mind, when Kojima beat Jeff Cobb, I was pissed off in the 6-man tag of the anniversary show. So it's kind of tit for tat. It's all well and good us saying these guys need to challenge, but to challenge means they've got to beat the young guys, which means, like when he's beating Yota Tsuji, one of the young lions at the minute, that's a different ball game to him. Like if he beats Sanada, it's fine because I have no fucking care or interest in Sanada's character at the minute. That's nothing against him. He's probably a great human being and is a great wrestler. Just the way he's been booked has been terrible. But yeah, so like imagine if Nagata pinned Zack or pinned Will, like how we'd be like, oh, for fuck's sake. So we can't come on and that's the thing. And I realized this earlier when I was watching Nagata. It's like we can't be coming on here saying we need to give these veterans chances and fight for the titles when we would then come on and moan if they were beating the young guys. So there needs to be a happy medium. I don't think that we should be. I think at anniversary shows, I think would be nice if we had a veteran challenging the champion. Like I would have loved at this anniversary show to either have Kojima, Tenzon, or Nagata to challenge Ibushi rather than Desperado. I think that would have been fun. As great as that match was and how good it was for Desperado to kind of elevate him to a new level, but yeesh. I don't know. It's a real tough one. But this match was good. It helps that I went in with, I don't know about you, I went in with 0 expectations. Like, I mean none. I had none. I was like, it's going to be all right, but they delivered good, which when you're thinking all right, makes it that much better. So, good job, Sanada. You know, we don't forget and we don't forgive, and we're still struggling to forgive you from the bad, terrible new beginning build. Like that was borderline unforgivable. That did more damage to Kota Ibushi's title reign than fucking unifying those fucking belts. Because it just like, I don't know about you, but like on my Twitter timeline, excuse me, on the Twitter timeline, it feels less New Japan talk ever since that new beginning tour. People kind of just lost interest. Hopefully it picks up for the final, but at least on my timeline anyway, the interest talking wise of New Japan is so much less compared to Wrestle
Yep.
Kingdom time. And then obviously there is going to be a drop off after Wrestle Kingdom, but it's like Ibushi Sanada clocked people out. They're like, yeah, I don't really care. And once you
But
stop caring for a promotion, the amount of times I've done this with Impact, it's like, oh yes, it's really really good, it's really really good, and then they have that one program which is just like, oh, I'm not really fussed, and you're done. You don't tune in until something big happens that you see on Twitter. So I think that could be a problem. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what Sanada does next. Does he have Will in the quarterfinals?
yes, he does. If you know who, if
Oh,
Will, man. Also, too. Okay, I just thought about something, man, and I just this is crazy. So Yuji Nagata, he's a former IWGP Heavyweight Champion, correct?
yep.
So New Japan is pretty much about to abolish him ever winning that belt, and that's something WWE has not even done. Like WWE still has the WWE title, even if they have the Universal title, they still have the WWE title. Like, just think about this is I hate to say this, man. This is pretty this it's stupid. Like, I don't. If you want to get rid of the Intercontinental title, fine, just merge it with the heavyweight title. But them making a new world, it's stupid because you have guys like Nagata here, fucking Hiroshi Tenzan, fucking Hiroshi Tanahashi, Tetsuya Naito, Great Muda, Masahiro Chono, Shinya Hashimoto. So you mean to tell me that history is gone now? Like that, literally, they're erased now because you're making this new. That's like worse than anything WWE has ever done as far as belt. Like when you think about it.
Oh yeah, it's an absolute disgrace. Like last night on Sacrifice, they unified the Impact and the TNA title, and they made a big deal that it's the combination of the lineage, making that title more valuable. So they literally could have done with combining the lineage, and you got the obviously don't, if you've won say 5 IC titles, that doesn't make you a now fucking 9-time say world champion. That shouldn't be how it works. Just say,
No,
the IC title, have a respectful kind of retirement ceremony for the belt, one last time, emotional, raise it in the air, put it in a glass cabinet, off you fucking pop. Not combine them. I think this is going to be one of those moments that we talk about for a very long time. Like the
absolutely.
combination of these belts. Like, I don't care what company that is. If you do that, you're fucking stupid because you just wasted however, like 50 odd years, however long they've, well, not 50, 30 odd years of fucking title defenses all for nothing.
Think, think about if WWE did something like this right now. They're like, all right, we're going to combine both the titles and it's gone, right? So that means Stone Cold never held a title. Fucking Hulk Hogan never held a title. Macho Man never held a title. Oh, like all these, they just never held a title because you just like think about like you got to think about what you're doing too. And as far as the design will go, I'm not even gonna like cap with y'all. To me, the current IWGP Heavyweight title, that's like legit the best like world title like design ever in wrestling, in my opinion. That belt's like so fucking sweet, and whatever you replace it with, it's just kind of gonna be like, yeah, eventually I'll get used to it, but it's just like it's never going to be like better than that. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna get used to it, but unless it's some kind of like enhanced version of that, it's not going to be as good, man. Like it's just like, okay, y'all kind of like New Japan low key kind of fucked themselves by doing this. I don't even really like know why they like. It's just weird how they was just like, okay, we're gonna make a new world heavyweight title. You didn't even have to do that. Like you could just merge the titles. It's you don't y'all got too extravagant with that. But we're going off on a tangent. Hopefully the champion whenever all this happens. And if the title design is fucking horrible, okay, guess who's gonna be over here talking about it's fucking bad? Me, because I'm like, yeah, that title sucks. I'm like, yeah, this belt looks fucking ugly. But yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that, man. But we got the main event of this show. We got, two people trying to vie for the champion of King of the UK, but LK holds that right now, so they got to take a seat back. So we got my man Zack Sabre Jr. taking on the current British heavyweight champion. I can't even remember. That was like, when's the last time one he defended that belt, and two, like Rev Pro. I don't know if they're having shows, but they got to be like, come on, man, can we have our belt back? Because if we're not going to wrestle, I mean, we're going to wrestle. Can you at least have our belt back right here? But Zack Sabre Jr., Will Ospreay right here. I thought Taichi on a commentary table on the Japanese side, nice touch right here for this main event. So this is actually a really good match, and I thought these guys were going to go all out like they did, and they really did, man. And I think this is probably the first time these guys have had a main event in New Japan. Both of these guys wrestling. I think they wrestled in Japan maybe one other time, but this is the first time these guys have had a main event. So shout out to both of the gentlemen right here. I expected Ospreay to get the win, even though I wanted Zack Sabre Jr. to win because ZSJ fan. But I expected Ospreay to get the win here. He got the victory. He put him away with the Stormbreaker. It was a really good match. Ospreay actually got busted. His nose was bleeding like he was bleeding pretty good, man. It was pretty busted open, man. So we get not Zach. We get Ospreay advancing to the quarterfinal against Sanada right here, and this is pretty much a damn good match, man. So credit to both of the guys right here, and it kind of protected Zack Sabre Jr. because he got a lot of stuff in. To be 100% honest.
Yeah, protected Zack. I really really like this, and the story of the match, sadly, what people will be talking about online will be the nose. It won't be the actual match itself, because that's just how social media works. If something bad happens, it'll be what everyone talks about. The match itself I really really enjoyed it. I got really into it. I gave it because I've given every match on the tour a kind of star rating type thing. So I gave Nagata Sanada two and a half, and I gave this 3.5. I thought it was really really good. I loved how it started off heel, like heel versus heel, and towards the end, once Ospreay got that blood, he kind of became a babyface because the crowd obviously see blood, they feel sympathy, and Ospreay, quick on his feet, was like, right, I can capitalize on it, get a quick pop, off we fucking go, chip cheerio. But yeah, this was a really really good stuff. I think the nose came from when Zack did the tilt the world, went to kind of slam Ospreay face first and go to the armbar. He did this tilt the world, and Ospreay went to do a face bump, and number one rule is you twist your fucking head. You don't go face first into the fucking mat. And obviously the speed Zack, like Zack was going at speed, and this is no one's fault. Just he was at speed and landed straight on his nose, and then literally a few seconds later he's just pouring with blood. It was fucking horrible. And I don't even think Ospreay realized until he kind of like rubbed his nose, saw how much fucking blood was on his hands, then kind of just quickly picked him up, and then boom, 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 spot off with pop. But yeah, that's got to be a nose break, man. That's definitely a nose break.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. To see how they work Ospreay in these undercard matches coming up, because he won't have a New Japan Cup match at least for a couple of days. So that will be interesting how they work that. And honestly, too, man, like I'm not mad with Will Ospreay winning, even though I like Zack Sabre Jr. better. But if you just think about how the landscape of New Japan is right now, Zack Sabre Jr. had his New Japan Cup run. It's kind of probably time for Will Ospreay at least have a deep cup run. And even though if you take biases aside in pro wrestling, I'm all about things making sense. And honestly, Will Ospreay winning makes sense here, right? Because he needs this victory more than Zack Sabre Jr. needed the victory. He already has New Japan Cup run. He's already challenged for the heavyweight title. So Zack Sabre Jr. is, for the most part, is an established guy over here in New Japan. So we kind of need to establish Will Ospreay here in the heavyweight division, and beating a guy who actually won the cup a couple of years ago is a feather in the cap for Will Ospreay. I thought it was a damn good match right here, and I like the aesthetic post match where he's cutting his promo with the shit over his face with his bleeding. I love that aesthetic. I thought that was pretty cool. So and also too, do you think maybe Will Ospreay should kind of, I don't want to say, because I'm not trying to say I'm not wrestling for anybody, but maybe kind of tone down some of the high flying stuff, because like you said, there was a point in this match, like you said, when the blood happened, he became the babyface, and I don't know if that was what New Japan was really aiming for right here, because post match you see Taichi coming in the ring pretty much like going, standing like kind of over Zack Sabre Jr., kind of like, giving Zack Sabre Jr. some sympathy. So I'm like, damn, is that what they was really going for? So I'm like, and Ospreay at this point, he's packed on enough muscle, especially in New Japan. He doesn't really have to do this high flying stuff. He has enough impactful moves to where he can tone down the springboard, insert whatever move here. So I just want to know what you thought about that.
Yeah, I thought right at the start, because literally the first move was that running dropkick and then the dive to the outside and then the springboard in. I was like, oh shit, we're going to get an absolute car wreck. Not in a bad way. There is a way to do a car, like Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Ray Phoenix on Dynamite. They had a car wreck, but it was great. It made sense and was fucking great.
Fucking drag.
Yeah, literally, like it was really good stuff. But then all of a sudden they kind of stopped, Sabre worked the arm. which Ospreay sold really well. Why is his shoulder bandaged? Does he have a bad shoulder, or is that just selling because it's the New Japan Cup and they always have wrestlers taped up? Like, because go on.
Maybe a little bit of both. I feel like that's maybe a little selling, but I think there might be still like you're wrestling a couple shows here in a row. You're on a tour, so you're going to get banged up. So I think it's a little bit of both.
Cool. Also, I read about. We'll get back to the match. I didn't read. I heard. I listened to Uncle Davey Boys talk about. Because I listened to his stuff when he talks about the New Japan Cup. Apparently, Okada has has discs in his back.
Yep. 2 ruptured discs in his back.
Yeah. He needs to get that sorted, because that was literally I just literally remember just off the top of my head. He needs to get that, talking about Ospreay's injury, he needs to get that sorted. A disc moving, he needs some fucking chiropractic. If he needs surgery, fucking get it. But wouldn't you rather do it now than him potentially miss the fucking G1? Like, oh.
Hell, or like, and then what I forgot to say earlier, okay, and this goes in with Okada and Naito. Imagine if they are not on these tours, and then like in the, I guess where they're cleaning the ring, those little like the intermission or whatever, they're running promos about the return of Okada and the return of Tetsuya Naito. Like, imagine how like well that would go over. That would go over pretty well, I think.
Yeah, that's a great shout. But yeah, back to the Ospreay fucking Zack match that we were originally talking about. I really like I said, I really enjoyed the Ospreay selling the arm and Zack working it. And I'm literally on my notes here. I've got way more physical than I was expecting. I was expecting high flying versus submission and Zack countering his high flying stuff into submissions, but it was literally really physical. Like, they had a really good forearm exchange, loads of good strikes. I really enjoyed this. Like I said, I gave it 3.5. I really rated it. I recommend people to go out of the way. Like, if they don't have much time, just check this out. If you've got a bit of time, check out the Yuji Nagata Sanada one as well. What ones have we got for tomorrow?
We got David Finlay versus Yoshihashi, and we got Jay White versus the never open weight champ, the IWGP never open weight champion, apparently, Hiroshi Tanahashi, man. So Tanahashi and Jay White.
I will never be calling that the IWGP never open weight title, by the way. I just want to put it out there now.
Okay, I'm just telling you. That's what they said on commentary. At least, unless I'm tripping. That's what they said. So
yeah, dude, the way they booked, I completely believe you. Just on the show, I will refuse to call it the IWGP never open weight title, because it can't be an IWGP if it's never open weight. Like, it's not sanctioned. Anyone could challenge for it.
Yeah, like, I don't. Yeah, we're in those murky waters though. So we got Jay White, Tanahashi in the morning, main eventing. We got fucking David Finlay versus Yoshihashi Hash Brown, man. So that should be a low-key underrated banger, man. That one's really both of these matches are really toss-ups right here, because you could see Tanahashi advancing, but I think Jay White's going to beat Tanahashi, and I think the harder match to really predict is Yoshihashi versus David Finlay, even though I'm going to pick my breakfast treat Hash Brown to win this match. Still hard to predict.
Oh, I hope Yoshihashi wins. We're going to come and have a party if Yoshihashi gets to the fucking quarterfinals of the New Japan Cup. I'm going to be so damn happy. He deserves it. Obviously, he'll then lose to either Jay White or Tanahashi, but that doesn't matter. He can put it on his Wikipedia page that he got to the quarterfinals. He's in the final 8 out of 32. I'll classify that as a good win. But yeah, those 2 matches were fun. In kind of like summary, the 2 matches were fun. We kind of haven't really had a bad night on this tour. You got to give him that. We haven't had a real bad night. So, fair play.
Yeah, New Japan Cup, for the most part, has been really fucking solid, man. So, yeah, we're just migrating to the fucking quarter and then semifinals and to eventually the finals, man. So, we're just seeing who's going to win this thing. And, we're going to have all that fucking content to bring to you guys. So, sit back, relax, and we'll do it.
Absolutely. And there's a show tomorrow. Looking forward to coming on with you to do that. Apologies, I'm not as energetic and intelligente as normal. I've got I had a fucking ridiculously long day. It's Mother's Day over here in the UK, so there was family things, and then obviously it's COVID, so that's a fucking pain in the ass to do that. I gave the keys back, so I had to finish up cleaning, and then I had to watch this show, watch the Sacrifice show earlier as well in the morning. So I've just been one tired boy. So looking forward to tonight. When you go to sleep tonight, ladies and germs, Picture me being drifting away into La La Land. I swear to you, I'm going to get 10 fucking hours of sleep for the first time in forever. And I'm really looking forward to it, so I can come on tomorrow fresh, rejuvenated, ready to pump out the party music for fucking Yoshihashi. We should get a non-copyrighted song just to blast. Like, literally blast when we talk about Yoshihashi. So you know when you can get, like on some podcasts, they have like a music on the background whilst they're talking. We should get like a light little fucking little dum dum dum, like when we talk about Yoshihashi if he wins, just out of pure excitement and love for the man. But like I said, the deal stands. If he wins the New Japan Cup, I will buy a piece of Yoshihashi merch.
Shit, I mean, like, what? I'll buy a towel. Fuck it.
Yeah, and I looked on New Japan Europe, by the way, and there was no Yoshihashi. I was fully heartbroken. But yeah, actually, yeah, the Yoshihashi scarf, and then in my desk area I can hang it up. I can hang it up like with the little pin things, and I can have it hung up. Just to remember my roots, where I come from. I can be like Yoshihashi, that fucking fight spirit to pull through. Fucking the man, he's the
Let's
man.
go.
Absolutely.
Let's go. Yoshihashi, man. You know, if Yoshihashi won this cup, he's the hero we really need in the story, right?
Yeah, fuck her, Ibushi. Give the belt to Yoshihashi. Oh, imagine the program Yoshihashi versus Sanada, because Sanada gets title shots all the fucking time. Oh god, that sounds awful. Oh god, not even Yoshihashi could save him.
Hell no. Yoshihashi is about to get out here, get both the belts, become the new World Heavyweight Champion, and we about to cover it. So,
But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow as always with coverage of New Japan Cup. Everyone go check out all 7 nights that have been reviewed, whether it's been me and Dion, whether it's just been Dion, whether it's just been me. We have covered each and every night, and that is what we will continue to do until we get to the finals, and we finish the finals, and we move on to Sakura Genesis. But Dion, anything else we need to talk about before we wrap this one up?
bro, I think we covered everything. Like, share, subscribe, and all that, man. You know the price of subscription, $3.99. So, yeah, man, I think we pretty much touched everything, my good brother.